Men, we are gathered here today because we are serious comic book artists, and also because our wives let us out of the house and my wife is out shopping. But anyway, men, I know we have grown tired that our families have not been supportive of us drawing comic books, of us pursuing what we want to do. And we provide, we work full time, we do what we need to do, but also we need time to do our artwork. Isn't that right? Don't you believe that, Jones, Rodriguez, Smith? Yes? Now, we will have to join together, combined, unite, and tell our families that we need to draw. We need to spend time doing what we love, what we feel like God has called us to do, even though it might be part-time. Now, if our wives are not in agreement, then you know what? We will stand up to them. We will tell them that we are the man of the house, we're the men of the house, and that we will draw. And, well, phones will vibrate in a second. Hello? Oh, hi, honey. Mm-hmm. You're around the corner? You're back early. Oh, no, nothing's wrong, nothing wrong. No, I'm fine. How much do I love you? Oh, I love you a lot. I love you so much. Yes, you're the greatest thing ever happened to me, next to Jesus. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So you say you're around the corner. All right. All right, man. Run! Get out of the house! Get out! Out the window! Out the window! Don't you understand? She takes no prisoners! She takes no prisoners! Alright, welcome back to part 2 of how to draw comic books while you have a family and a full-time job. In part 1, well, here's my little disclaimer. Intro: opinions are like butts and noses. Everyone has them, and they're full of holes. That's pretty much just so these are just my opinions and advice and just encouragement. I don't think there's a real I think it'd be it could be a collection of a whole lot of different opinions and advice to do this. Those are just mine, and it's funny. I just kind of, I don't know if someone even have ever done that title before for a video series or book, but it was so obvious that it was kind of funny, and even when I told people, they chuckled because it's so true with so many of us. So anyway, so that's my disclaimer in the intro. Chapter 1 is part 1. We went over comic books should be drawn in a fast, simplistic style so you can finish it. Mainly, I just kind of suggested that you might want to just do maybe more of a linear style, or if you do have maybe a detailed style, just kind of tone it down so you can have time to draw it and finish it. It's all about mastering time, and you just have to think about that. How long does it take to draw a page, and ink a page, and so forth, and color it. And just with a linear style, you can get done the artwork much faster because there's less detail. And if you want to put more detail, you can always just color it or gray tone and so forth. So we'll just skip to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called Discipline and Endurance. Get the job done. Now, that's well, actually I wrote something. I guess I should read it. But it's pretty much just mean you have to get the job done. The only way you're going to do that is by being disciplined and having endurance and perseverance and just keep doing it. So anyway, this is what I wrote. Like I said before, this was actually going to be a book. Just decided to make it into a video series. Anyway, this is the big one. Maybe I should have made this the first chapter. The reason is, if you are not willing to discipline yourself and persevere in making your comic, then you're dead. How do you become disciplined and learn to persevere? One way: practice, practice, practice. There's no other way. There isn't a shortcut. This is also the intro to mastering time. Now, what I mean with this, with practice, 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 is mainly some of the ideas and steps that you can do to master time and to get used to having that mindset and get used to actually either setting some time apart or doing certain things that can help you finish a comic book, so forth. And so when I mean practice, 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 just like drawing, we all practice drawing and you get better by what? Practicing, like even playing a sport. Even there's some people who just like born talented and so forth, but still, you still need to practice to become better. And so that's the same thing with just mastering your time and figuring out ways to do your comic book during your busy schedule. It's practice, 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 practice. Figure, keep doing it, repetition. So anyway, let me keep on reading. The way I was able to produce a large body of art is I didn't dedicate time to it. I dedicated a quota. When I was single and had some more time to handle, I would draw 8 pages a week. If it was a 30-page story, I finished drawing the 8 pages a week, and then I inked 8 pages a week. Nothing less, nothing more. And then, of course, after that, I had to scan it in and add the dialogue and so forth. Now, you could say, if you finish your quota, in 2 or 3 days, not in a week, then I feel like that's good. Then you can focus on something else, make maybe a side commission or even another comic. But most likely, some weeks, you have other responsibilities. Like you definitely gotta have your family time. You can, definitely have appointments. Doctor's appointments and so forth. Fixing the house, doing some overtime at work. Life. And so it just that you always put your family first and so forth. I'm just saying that if you can finish whatever time you're setting out to do your work, you can spend more time with your family, spend more time maybe calling your mom and dad or someone else you haven't talked to for a while. Just that the main thing is just that don't go overboard. Just because you finish something fast in that week, don't just keep on pushing yourself and burn yourself out. I've done that before, and it's just not worth it. Do your quota and be done, and do something else. And that's pretty much what I said, what I wrote down right here. And because once you do your quota, you can have that sense of accomplishment and peace, and most important, you'll get your comic done. Now if you don't have a lot of time, or some of us don't, even if you just do 1 page a week, draw 1 page a week, that would be good. I have this little saying right here: how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. And the law of attrition always work. That's just true. Like if you're gonna take something out, something big, you just can't go and take this big thing out at one time. You go piece by piece. And and like I said, like if you can only do like 1 page a week, at least you can keep on doing it, and you'll get it done. And I'll explain a little bit more with that, but I think it pretty much always pretty much probably makes sense. Now, do I take breaks from my comics? Of course I do. What I usually do is that if I work on it for a number of months, I might take a month off. I think when I used to do 8 pages a week, I can get some of my stories pretty fast. So I might take a couple of months off and then just go back doing it. But I know once I became married, I had kids, and actually I kind of point that out over here, that I had to be more realistic. I couldn't do as much artwork, but one thing I could do is I can do a little bit of artwork and I can be more consistent. And like I said, the law of attrition. You keep, keep hitting that large stone. You wear it down, and that that what you have to do when you don't have as much time. Um, with this video series, I guess I'm trying to think of some ways. Try to make it more exciting in some ways. Now you just hear my voice all the time. And so I don't know. I thought maybe I can put some visual aids, more visual aids up here and everything. So I am going to do that. Just while I'm talking, you can watch a couple of trailers. Once I find them, that I've done of some of my comics that I thought might be kind of cool to see while I'm just talking. So hopefully I'm not being boring and so forth. But here you go. You can't probably no better hear it, but you can watch it. You can just see this right here. Actually, is the United. Something I actually guess maybe 2.5 or 3 years ago. I started this web comic where I brought different Christian creator characters together into this pretty cool story. And actually, same thing. I kind of disciplined myself to get it done, and it's about 25 pages there. Get it done, and it's going to be over 100 pages. And, I just did the same thing. I just did a few pages at a time. And actually, I did this while I was working on my epic comic Allegories of the Way. And I just did a little bit by little bit. Now the funny thing is, when I was doing this, I also was doing another web comic called Faithland, but Faithland kind of grew beyond what I originally thought it was going to be, and so that's actually going to be an epic. So I figured, well, I'll put that on hold and finish, Allegories of the Way and finish the United first, and then, go back to Faithland, and see how it goes. Anyway, let me do a little bit. Okay, here you go. I want to get to some tips to get the job done, master time. You can clone yourself, or you can never sleep. Of course, I'm just joking right there. Remember the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton? It was kind of cool because he kind of was able to clone himself and do different stuff, but we can't do that. And so let me just repeat that. Kind of cool, maybe. And of course, you have to sleep, and that's the big thing. I've recently I did something really terrible where I got done with Allegories. I just had a lot of energy. I didn't realize how much energy I was putting into it. I mean, I'm pretty high energy in a way, but I was putting a lot of energy into Allegories, which was fine, because I still had a lot of energy even while I was doing it. But once I was done, my energy level just started spiking, because I pretty much did Allegories like a job in some sense, and I feel like in some ways you gotta see, if you're gonna do your comic book and get it done, you have to see it somewhat like a job. Whereas your job, you go there because you have to pay bills, but guess what? Some days, of course, you don't want to go there. Maybe every day you don't want to go there, but you go there because you have to. And in some ways, you got to approach your comic book that way. It's like I don't feel like doing it, but you know what I have to do? I want to get it done. I got to meet my quota. It's kind of I don't want to say it's a do or die attitude, but it is in some ways if you want to get it done. It's easy to dream and talk about stuff, but it's another thing to make into a reality, and that's sometimes what's hard for a lot of people to do, make things to reality. That's where the hard work and the discipline comes in. So anyway, let me give you a few tips that kind of helped me out throughout the years. That helped me better, get a good body of work done. Let me see. Actually, let me show you. This other video. This is actually of Allegories. Anyway, let me give you these tips. Alright, tip number 1. Set up a time limit during the day or evening to work on your comic. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, try to go for an hour if you can. You might think, well, 10 minutes isn't that long. It really isn't. 20 minutes isn't that long. It really isn't, but it's something. It's better than nothing. An hour isn't really that long, but it's something that's better than nothing. 0 and 0 equals 0. 10 minutes, you can sketch something out. You can do a figure, sketch out a figure. It depends how fast you are. So most likely you'll be able to add more time to it and everything. But just set some time apart. It seems it might seem hard, but you better do it. Next, do you have appointments to go to? We all do. Do you ride a bus or train to work? I used to do that, and I used to travel about close to 2 hours sometimes to get to a job. I remember by train and then by bus. And you know what? On the bus rides, you can do 30, 45 minutes, if not longer, of artwork. Imagine having like that 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, to do your comic. Some of us, of course, we work more than just 5 days. And so, think about that. I mentioned I was waiting for my social security card at some place because I lost my other one, and I was standing up, and I was, because all the seats were filled, but I brought my work to do, and I just drew. I drew a page, and got done with it. And then when I was waiting for my driver's license, you already know when you're at the MVA, you can be there for a long time. And so I brought my artwork there too, and yeah, I got 2 pages done. Waiting, sit down waiting. I'm just drawing. You have to think about these different aspects of your life where you do have this time, do stuff. You have these ways to master your time. And then I put number 3. When does the baby take a nap? If you have small kids, or when does everyone take a nap and go to sleep? During that time, you can get some artwork done, maybe for an hour. You might have to go do something else and so forth, but maybe just for a short time, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. Get something done when your wife or husband goes shopping or goes somewhere. You have that when you have a lot of free time sometimes to do something. Just block it out. To block out that time to do something when you're by yourself, and you can focus. Number 4, lessen a recreational habit, like video games. I have to shut my mouth, of course, because a lot of people don't want to hear that. But yes, once I became married, guess what? Like I said, I couldn't do everything. I didn't have all the time, like when I was single. So you know what? One of the main things I don't really do that much is play video games. The only video games I really play are exercise games that I do on the Wii and the Xbox, because the Wii actually has some great exercise games. Stay in shape. And so other than that, I don't. I have occasionally I might play an Android game, but I really don't play video games like I used to. And it's fine because I put my family first, and of course I gotta work, and so my other free time, that I would do sometimes, playing video games, I put into doing my comic book. And and to me it's like, what's more important? Because in art, I know video games can be a stress release, but also art can too. And I said, seriously, how do you feel more accomplished beating a video game you just spent $60 on, or a comic book that you can share with the world? That's probably a no-brainer. I love for me, I like video games. I love playing them, but I kind of love doing comic books more. I prefer making the fantasy story. I prefer creating the fantasy characters, and not just play them all the time. So it's up to you. There might be something else. Maybe something else recreational you can maybe just not do. I wouldn't trade spending time with people, with friends and so forth. But just cut a little bit of time, with that to work on your comic book. Anyway, so there are more examples that you can probably think of, definitely that pertains to your life. The main thing, I feel like the main thing I want to do with this series, the main thing, especially with this chapter 2, part 2, at the beginning you just have this mindset to make your brain start thinking and planning, how can I incorporate creating my comic book into my busy life? How can I master time? That's like I said, it's a mindset. You know, it really is. You have to train your mind to do what needs to be done to make your comic.